Well, just last year they had announced that the Chinese Navy had surpassed the United States' in size. And now they're saying that there's been a shift here in what's going on with China technologically, and that for the longest time it was viewed that, yes, they have a lot of manpower, but they weren't so worried about that if they were lacking in terms of technology and weapons. Now, what's going on is it's obviously being seen that China is catching up in different areas. Now, they only have one aircraft carrier, and that's kind of been all the talk. The United States, though, is the only country in the world that has more than one nuclear-powered aircraft carrier out there working. They have 11. And China has 2 more in the works, meaning if they get completed, they would officially be number 2 on the list in terms of the number of carriers. But when it comes down to the number of vessels, they have now surpassed the United States. So they have more troops. Now, in terms of the vessels on the waters, they have more than us as well. They're rolling out these new technologies that I've talked about, and here they're talking about the carrier killers. They talk about how China's Navy has been growing since 2000. It already has over a 2 million strong PLA troop fighting force. And as they state here, again, China's military has always been huge, but they were lagging behind in terms of technology. But they have caught up, is what they're saying. They have a second aircraft carrier with a third in the works. They are now projecting their power out into the ocean. Instead of just being worried about protecting their borders, now they're expanding out and trying to snatch up as much as they can all the way down and around the South China Sea. The Spratly Islands, they've had contested issues with Vietnam, Malaysia, the Philippines. And they say that at least 1/3 of the global shipping goes through these waters that are controlled by China. So right now, well, last year, China had counted, and this is what we know of the latest numbers. They're saying 317 warships and submarines in active service, compared with 283 in the U.S. Navy, which has been essentially unrivaled in the open seas since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. So, in terms of the Pacific, this is a very real issue. Now, let's take a quick look here at everything full scale in terms of China, the U.S. military, and even Russia. The United States just brought its second fleet back into service. This is a rare move, and they're doing so because they have to, for the North Atlantic and for the Arctic to deal with Russia. So they're making that move to deal with that front. So anything that's going to be utilized for the South China Sea is yet to be seen. Now, of course, they've rolled different forces up there close to North Korea in these waters that China likes to float around in and try to occupy. There's going to come a point where I think China is going to try to make a big move. Things are going in that direction, slowly but surely. And this is just some of the latest here. Is there's talk of them modernizing their technology, their military weaponry, that they're expanding, and that Xi Jinping has stated that they're not going to give up 1 square inch of any turf that they occupy. So, couple that with the huge drill, 300,000 troops between Russia and China that's going down right now. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on and Russia and China being allied is big. You would think that somewhere along the line someone would have seen that strategically and would have tried to drove a wedge between those two countries and not allow the alliance to get that big. But this is the latest. I'm going to leave a link. I'll continue to update as I come across more. Make sure to tune into Underground World News Live Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, Dabu 77. Hope to see you guys there.